And hello, class, and welcome as we officially kick off week 4 of our course. Week 4. So, let me get into what we're going to touch bases with and what I want to do with this instructional video. And as you know, at the beginning of every week within the semester, there will be an instructional video that's going to give us guidance and direction. So, week number 4, what we're talking about is we're talking about legal terms and definitions, legal aspects or different forms of business ownership. So, as we go into the textbook within chapter 3, we see that the chapter does touch bases on different types of business entities in regards to ownership, but then also it talks about different laws and different acts that have been passed. For example, the Fair Labor Standards Act, okay, and how that protects people and gives people a minimum wage to work. But then also it protects children, okay, from different types of unfair labor practices. Back in the early 1900s, as a matter of fact, there were sweatshops where children were forced to work. And we're talking about an extreme amount of hours on a weekly basis. So we have different laws that not only protect children, but then also protect those that are over the age of 40, and that is relative to age discrimination. So all these terms and definitions are actually within chapter 3 of the textbook. So make sure, everybody, that you look at the terms and definitions that I have put together. It actually breaks down the different forms of business ownership. It talks about, for example, what is a sole proprietorship, what's considered to be a partnership, and what's considered to be a corporation. And I actually kind of further elaborate on what a general partnership is and what a limited partnership is. Then I talk about a corporation, okay, and how corporations are actually formed, okay, and who are the people to identify that are within the corporations and what are their rights in terms of having um, access to certain assets or also liabilities that may come. Okay, what are they liable for? And so we talk about even the types of corporations, such as an S corporation and also an LLC, that would be a limited liability company. And then I actually kind of talk about laws and regulations. We know that in order to open up a restaurant establishment, there are different laws, there are different regulations that we have to adhere to within the state. There's different zoning permits that we may need within the city that our facility and establishment is located in. And so I kind of break down some different things that are important, that are relative to the manager of the restaurant when it comes to different laws as well as regulations. Also, the federal employee tax ID number that identifies the company, that identifies the restaurant. And then we also talk about employment related issues. We talk about harassment prevention, how sexual harassment is against the law. And we also talk about different wage payments as well as payroll taxes, things that do happen to protect employees, and also whether or not if uh, a certain or within our establishment, I should say, would there happen to be a union shop? So different things that we actually cover, as well as the accounting purposes on the federal, state, and also local levels. So again, go through this PowerPoint. You may see some of this on the quiz, and I kind of want to talk about that. The quiz is going to occur the week after next. So, and this is with the syllabus. If you look at the syllabus, you see the outline of what we're going to be doing on a weekly basis. I originally had the quiz scheduled for this week, but what I'm going to do is probably postpone the quiz until next week. And that quiz will cover the first 4 chapters within our textbook. So look at these PowerPoints. Go back to week number 2 and go back to last week. As a matter of fact, we're wrapping up week number 3. That's going to be wrapped up at tonight at midnight, and week number 4, which is going to start tomorrow. Look at your terms, look at your definitions, look at any theories that I may have within the PowerPoints because you may happen to see this on the quiz as well as the midterm exam, which is going to be coming up sometime next month. Let's move on here. And I kind of want to talk about what we're going to be doing in terms of assignments. Okay, so as a reminder, section one of your final paper is going to be due next Sunday midnight going into Monday. So that would be next Sunday midnight, February 13th, going into Monday morning, February the 14th. So I expect for everybody to submit section one of their final papers. Now, just section one only, because remember now, we're not doing the entire final paper in one assignment. It is actually being scaffolded, meaning that I'm assigning different sections of the paper to be due for various dates throughout the semester. So again, February the 13th at midnight on Sunday will be section one of your final paper. That's when you will submit that. We're going to have more, and these are going to happen every week, class. As you can tell, the discussion question assignments, as you see them within week 4 here. So the first discussion question assignment, normally I give 3 a week, but I want everybody to focus on writing a good, and you should have a rough draft written already, and you should have already researched for your final paper. But I want everybody to focus on submitting section one of your final paper. So I only gave the class this week 2 discussion assignments that we're going to engage in with the threads. So the first one here, discussion question assignment number 1 will be due on Wednesday night. That will be this coming Wednesday night going into Thursday morning. And so pretty much what it's going to be a workplace scenario. You got to look at that 3.1. That would be page 42 of your textbook. And what I want everyone to do is I want everyone to put themselves in the position of Scott. If you read the scenario, I want you to answer 2 questions at the end of the scenario. And then what you're going to do is based on the type of partnership that he's going to enter into, what would be the best decision? So read the scenario on page 42, 3.1. You're going to answer the 2 questions, and I want you all to give me at least 1 paragraph response related to Scott on what would be the best decision for him in terms of the type of partnership that he should enter into regarding the startup of the restaurant. The next one, and I don't know how many of you are actually familiar with doing case studies. This is kind of a business law term and text. As a former business law professor, I would give a lot of case studies to my students within the class. So you're reviewing a case that's already concluded. That's what a case study is. And you are giving a reflection. You're giving your facts and your findings of that case and whether or not the right decision was made on behalf of the judge, whether they rewarded the plaintiff or did they actually favor the defendant within the case. So with this one, to stay on topic, within our hospitality course here, financial management, this was an interesting one that I actually pulled this up. I had to do some research online to find this. So we, of course, are talking about in Chapter 3 again the Fair Labor Standards Act, as well as the EEOC, that would be the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. And what is their position as an agency? Just exactly what do they do when it comes to cases or people that may have complaints, employees with employers? Usually, I could tell you with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is that there's various witnesses that are needed. Okay, once an employee makes an initial complaint against an employer, and there has to be legitimate cause and evidence to support that in order for it to be an actual legitimate case that the EEOC would happen to take on in favor of the employee that's claiming any type of workplace harassment or unjust within the workplace. So, what I want everybody to do is this, okay? This is the link right here. And follow these instructions carefully, everybody. I want everyone to click on this link. And this is a case that was actually concluded back in 2020. It was regarding various employees of Taco Bell. This Taco Bell was located in the state of Tennessee. And what happened was that the general manager did not compensate the employees for overtime hours that were worked. And the employees actually did work a plethora of overtime hours, but they did not get compensation as a result of the overtime that they put in at the Taco Bell location. This is what I want everybody to do, okay? We're not going to get deeply embedded in terms of doing a deeply rooted case study because I really want to connect this to our course here within financial management. I want everybody to click on this link. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on the link within the article. You're going to review the template of the case that's concluded. It's maybe about 20 pages long, okay, but I want everybody to just briefly proofread it. And what I want you to do, I want you to summarize in your own words the prayer of relief. So, the prayer of relief, and I can tell you what happened, is that the judge did favor the plaintiffs within the case, and they were rewarded the compensation of the overtime that they did put in at the Taco Bell facility. So, I want everybody to do this. I want you to select either one, two, or three, not all three, okay? And in your words, in your own words, I want you to summarize one of the prayer of release that was ordered by the court, and give me at least one paragraph in your response. So, in so many words, give me a reflection. Do you think that it was just? Do you think that the right decision was made by the judge? And give me some details as well too within the case as you summarize and proofread it that connects it with your response. So, with this one, this discussion question assignment is going to be due Friday night, this Friday night, going into Saturday morning. And if you log on to D2L, you'll see everything within the news feed, as well as the link as you clicked on to view this video that I've provided for you. The final thing would be the paper. And I've gone over this. Submit your final paper. And let me just open this up here as a reminder. Okay. My apologies here. This is actually the Dropbox that you would actually submit the paper. This would be the Dropbox. But the final paper is right here. Let me go back to the content. And this is going to be the final thing that I'm going to wrap up on. Again, section 1 is going to be due. Section 1. So this is what you want to focus on. You want to focus on the introduction and development. And that's going to be due on Sunday night, February 13th. Use chapter 1 of your textbook for one of your resources. And I'll also encourage as well that you can use other external resources along with the textbook. And make sure that you cite your references. And I'm looking for this to be written in APA format. If you have any questions, class, regarding APA format, feel free to reach out to me. My office hours are 2 to 7 p.m. And I need to emphasize this because I don't think I've done it in previous weeks. That's Central Standing Time. I happen to be located in Wisconsin. So that would be 3 to 8 your time. Most of you are on the East Coast. So remember, office hours, availability by phone are 3 to 8. That would be your time, which happens to be 2 to 7 my time. Okay, class, as I welcome, as a matter of fact, I have office hours available right now if anyone wants to contact me by phone. If anyone's going to be looking at this video right now as I make it available on our D2L course layout, feel free to contact me if you have any questions, if you have any problems, if you need any answers to anything that you may not understand. I am here to answer your questions and also to give you guidance. Okay, everybody. Once again, it's 2:34 p.m. Central Standing Time on February the 6th, and I want everybody to have a great week, and take care.